And as you guys are laying there, headphones on, eyes closed, think about your breathing pattern. I want you to get like at least a 3 to 5 second exhale. Rachel, you can listen while you're driving. Listen however you can, but if you're in that position, face up, headphones on. 3 to 5 second exhale, 2 second hold, 3 to 5 second inhale. See if you can get that breathing going and just relax. There's nothing to see, only to listen. Because today, we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about suffering. Suffering and comfort. So I want to tell you the story about the Four Philanthropists. So many, many years ago, there was a war going on in this village. And in the village, the people that lived there lost the war. So all the men in the village were imprisoned. And the prison was actually inside this village. So you can imagine all the husbands and brothers and sons were imprisoned in the very community that they grew up in. And there's these philanthropists. There's 4 of them. And each one of these philanthropists wanted to come along and live out their destiny, right? Live out their purpose, make a difference in this world. So the first philanthropist comes along, realizes that these men in prison are sleeping in extremely uncomfortable conditions. You know, they're sleeping on rocks. There weren't any adequate mattresses. There weren't any great pillows or anything like that. So the first philanthropist said, I'm a very wealthy man, and I'd like to help these men in this prison that are suffering. I'd like to add a little bit more comfort, to give them some comfort during their suffering. So please allow me to donate pillows and mattresses so they can sleep comfortably. And the prison agreed. And he was allowed to donate the mattresses and the pillows. So these men could sleep in comfort. And this philanthropist, the first guy, he felt great. Felt like he fulfilled his purpose, fulfilled his destiny in life, and made a difference for these men that were in prison. Second philanthropist comes along, finds out that these men that are in prison are bathing in terribly dirty water. The same water they're bathing in, same water they're drinking in. And now they're getting malnourished and dehydrated because they can't even keep the water down because it's all the same water. The second philanthropist said, hey, listen, I would love to donate clean water so these men can have a little bit more comfort while they're suffering in prison. And again, the prison agreed, and the second philanthropist donated all the clean water to the prison. And he felt great about the fact that he was able to donate this clean water. He felt like he'd fulfilled his purpose, fulfilled his destiny, and made a huge difference in these people's lives. The third philanthropist, he was a farmer. He found out that these poor men that were once in the community are now living in this prison. And in this prison, they're eating terrible food. It was unhealthy, didn't taste good, had maggots in it from time to time. So he went to the prison and said, listen, I own this farm, I grow fresh food. I would love to be able to donate some meat and eggs and produce and vegetables to these men that are in prison just to give them some more comfort. Prison agreed, allowed the farmer to donate the food. Now these men in this prison were eating healthy food. They were starting to get nourished. The food actually tasted good. And this farmer, he felt great about the difference that he'd made. Felt like he fulfilled his destiny as a person. Exactly what he was designed to do. And then the fourth philanthropist came along. This fourth philanthropist, he was actual He was a real life saint. And this fourth philanthropist did something very interesting in this prison. He went and got the keys to the prison. He had the keys to unlock these prisoners from the prison he was in. And he unlocked it. And all the prisoners were released from the prison. None of those prisoners suffered any more at all. And this fourth philanthropist, as a saint, fulfilled his destiny, fulfilled his purpose. Now, I share the story with you because so many people in this group, people in your life, ourselves, are suffering in comfort, meaning we're constantly trying to add things, even though we're suffering in life, right? We do things to feel more comfort in our suffering rather than just alleviate the suffering altogether. This whole program are the keys to unlock you from the prison that you live in. The prison of your minds, the prison of the emotions that you don't want to feel, the prison of feeling like you're less, the prison of feeling like your life doesn't matter, the prison of not having a sense of direction, the prison of feeling invisible, the prison of always beating yourself up about previous sins, mistakes, setbacks, or failures. The prison of being worried about what other people think about you. And so many of you, so many of us in our life stay in this prison that's essentially our minds. And the entire time we're in this prison, all we're trying to do, if we could just sleep a little bit better, if we could just feel a little bit better, if I could eat a little bit better, if I had a little bit cooler friends, if I drove a nicer car, then I'd have more comfort in my suffering. And this is the culture, the society, where so many of us, all we're trying to do is just have a little bit more comfort. But in the grand scheme of things, we're suffering. And that suffering comes from the place in our life where we're not pursuing our dreams. We're not maxing out our potential. You're not giving yourselves the gift of what's already inside you. And what's already inside you is love, is peace, and opportunity. But instead, we're pursuing that vehicle, that relationship, that amount of money, that title, that amount of followers, that amount of likes, that prestige. So that maybe as we're suffering, we feel a bit more comfort. These small little moments of happiness or moments of bliss or moments where we feel okay. But you're living in a prison of your own making in your mind. And the keys to your prison is what this program's all about. Because the prison is living in fear. The prison is, what are people going to think about me? The prison is living someone else's dream. Some of you are pursuing something or a career that you didn't even choose. Your parents chose it, or somebody told you you'd be good at it, or you studied it in college and now you're stuck with it. Some of you started a line of work and it was originally your dream, But now you're suffering every day in this dream. That's probably right now, if you did a self-audit and started over, it's no longer your dream. I know you can relate where you're like, damn, I am suffering. I am in this prison that I've made. I'm living a dream I no longer have. Maybe it's a job you don't want to do. Maybe it's emotions every day. I don't want to feel, but I have to create this pattern of feeling these emotions. Because in our lives, we're going to have these emotions we're going to get on a regular basis. No matter what the conditions of our life. There's 5 or 6 emotions we're always going to get. You're going to be addicted to the emotions of pain, anxiety, worry, suffering, anger, depression. They will find a way in your life any given week, no matter what the conditions are. And you're going to get back into that prison of those emotions. And you do this because you're addicted to the pattern of these emotions. And a lot of people live their entire life, get to the end of their life, and only at the end of their life, they realize they suffered in comfort and that they could have actually ended their suffering at any point. They realize, I held the keys. God held the keys the entire time. I could have simply unlocked the gate. I could have unlocked that door and walked right out. And the keys to unlocking your gate is the belief in a higher power and the faith in yourself. Your connection to something that's bigger than you. Another part of that key is fighting a dream that's your current dream, not your past dream, not your parents' dream, not your friend's dream, but your dream right now. So as you're listening to this, ask yourself this question, check in with yourself, self-audit yourself. Ask yourself, am I living in a prison of my own creation? Am I living in a prison of my own creation? Am I living in a trauma I allowed someone to create for me? It's a job I chose that I don't want anymore. It's a degree I'm pursuing that I'm not interested in. It's a business that I started, and now that I've done it, it's not for me, but I'm still in it and I'm suffering in it. But then somewhere in the back of your mind, you say, I'll get a little bit more comfort, a little bit more money. You know, I've got good friends. Drink good wine on the weekend. Smoke my weed at night. All that shit is just you trying to be a little bit more comfortable in your suffering. That emotional eating is just you trying to be a little bit more comfortable in your suffering. A bottle of wine every night is just you being a little bit more comfortable in your suffering. Every time you drink, you're just trying to be more comfortable in your suffering. Every time you go back to that toxic relationship, you're just trying to find some comfort in your suffering. Every time you do drugs, you're just trying to be a little bit more comfortable in your suffering. Because the quickest way out of this prison is to pursue something that's your purpose, your passion, your calling, something that your heart tells you to do. That goes for all of you. Pursuing something that takes advantage of your natural skills and abilities. But we stay in this prison, the prison of what other people think about us. The prison of, holding our past failures and mistakes like a weapon, like holding a gun to our head to remind ourselves of our mistakes, our sins, our past, feeling like those things disqualify us from living the life we're designed to. Step out of this prison and accept your worth. Acknowledge that you were not born to be in this prison that you're in. You were born to chase your purpose, live out your dreams, and live life on your own terms. Because you hold the keys. Think about life like this. Life is essentially this massive 100-room mansion with all these experiences and things that we could be seeing, doing, and trying, learning, expanding. Okay? And many of these things aren't even career related. Some of these things might just be a hobby. They might be a pursuit, might be an interest, might just be a curiosity. But your hobbies, your pursuits, your interests, your curiosity are nothing more than pathways. Because chasing that curiosity, learning something new, trying new things, experiencing something different gives you total freedom in your life, total freedom from being out of that prison. But you have to totally commit to yourself. Total freedom in your life is total commitment to something. I hear people say, if I get in a totally committed relationship, I'll lose my freedom. Couldn't be more wrong, couldn't be further from the truth. Total commitment is what gives you freedom. I hear people say, if I get totally committed to my business, I'm going to lose freedom. Shit ain't true. Total commitment will get you out of your prison. Half commitments, halfway committed to a relationship, halfway committed to your business, half-ass loving what you do, that's the prison. That's the lack of freedom. Total freedom is total commitment, because once you're totally committed, now you're free to create. Now, the options are whatever you want them to be in your life. Life's like a 100-room mansion. We're born in this mansion. But we choose one path or one relationship. It's like spending the majority of our life in just one room of this 100-room mansion. Think about it. All the different experiences, all the things you could be learning, all the things you could be seeing, all the things you could be doing in your life. But you spend almost every single day in the same room, in the same life, the same mansion of life, with the same people doing the same things. Suffering some more. And then maybe a little bit comfort. You can dress up that room all you want. That room can have the best blankets, the best food, the best drinks. But you're still going to suffer. The thing is, you can leave that room anytime you want, because there's hundreds of other rooms. In fact, there's hundreds of other mansions that have hundreds of other rooms all over the world. There's a big world for you to experience. So I'm not calling you out, I'm calling you up. Take the keys right now. Take the keys and open the door, and at least mentally step out for a minute. And speak these words out loud. I can end my suffering by pursuing my passion, by giving myself the gift of my belief and self-confidence, by giving myself the gift of my happiness and my love. By only being around people who love me and believe in me, and treat me the way I'm worthy of being treated. Speak these words out loud into existence. I'm going to begin to treat myself the way I'm worthy of being treated. I'm going to regularly audit my life and take a look at what my dream is right now. Not what my dream was when I was 20 or 30 or even 40. Guys, if you could dream again now, if you could have any emotion you wanted right now, if you could pursue your purpose right now, what would it be? Some of you guys say, I don't know. These questions and the answers to these questions are the keys out of your prison. You were not born to suffer in comfort. You were born to do something great with your life. You were born to leave this prison. Born to do something awesome, to contribute and better the lives of other people. Your past does not disqualify you from anything. So just because you've been in this prison or this 100-room mansion does not mean you have to live the rest of your life there. At any point on this journey, you can make the decision to step right out and start creating something new. Give yourself 10 seconds to actually visualize you stepping out of that prison. That's a gift in itself. Verbalize this out loud. I'm going to step out. I'm going to create. I'm going to begin to learn. I'm going to begin to grow. I'm going to pursue my passion. I am not going to begin to do the same things that have caused me to have a little bit of comfort in my suffering. You guys have to own what you want. I want to live blissfully. I want to live greatly. I want to do something awesome with my life. I want to make my dreams come true at any point. Because trust me, you're one decision away from achieving all that. Because at the end of the day, you are the fourth philanthropist for yourself. You are that saint for you. Those pathways are your belief in something greater than you and your self-confidence. Your pathway is having the courage to change your life. The courage to say, I'm unlocking this prison door. The courage to step out a new person. And even if you do have the same career, same relationship, you step out in a different version of you, a more positive, optimistic, confident you. Because the actual suffering isn't the job, isn't the relationship. It's the person in the job. It's the person in the relationship. It's the person who repeats the same emotions of being worried, frustrated, angry, concerned, constantly keeping themselves in the place of suffering. Because I want you to understand this also. There's a big difference between pain and suffering. Understand this. Pain is mandatory if you want to get anywhere in life. Pain's part of it. Pain's a primer. Pain teaches us. But pain is also temporary. All pain is temporary. And you can survive temporary pain, because on the other side of pain is where you meet another version of yourself. So don't get twisted and think I'm telling you pursue your dreams, pursue your life, and it's going to be pain-free. That's not true. Pain is temporary, and pain is how we learn. Suffering, however, is optional. Suffering is different than pain. Suffering is living in the prison that's in our mind. Suffering is being with someone that doesn't love you or treat you the right way. Suffering is chasing a dream that's no longer your dream. Suffering is chasing no dream and building somebody else's dream. Suffering is not pursuing your interests, your curiosities, or your hobbies. Suffering is not being connected to a higher power. And those are all things you have the ability to choose. So pain is part of life. And it's part of life that's mandatory if you want to pursue something great. Because remember, pain is what makes the pleasure feel so good. There's nothing wrong with having pain in your life. Because when you actually get that pleasure, it feels 1,000 times better. So pain is going to be there. But suffering, that you're choosing. And way too many of you are choosing to keep suffering in more and more comfort. I want you guys to process that. And I want you to send me a message of your reflection on that. And if you haven't got your ticket to the Newborn Mentality Mastermind in-person event in October, let me know ASAP before we run out of tickets. You guys have a wonderful night. Love all of you.